Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING. Get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, March the 4th, race number 9 at Oaklawn Park. We're going to close out the card with this maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up. We're going the 2-turn mile with the short stretch, and there are some really nice pedigrees in this race. As we take a look at this field, you've got the number 4, Constitutional Law, 8-1 on the morning line. This is a full brother to multiple Grade 1 stakes winner Constitution. You've got the 7, Invariably. The Dam won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Several other nice horses in this race. Life is Hard stretches out and likely will be the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. A lot of really nice pedigrees in here, Dan. So far, none of them have really run that kind of race that makes you feel like they're going to turn out to be that good. But I guess there's still time for at least some of these horses. It's sort of a wide open race. I feel like I have no idea how they're going to bet it. Maybe Life is Hard will be the favorite. I don't know. I feel like maybe what you want to do is wait and see what the board says come post time and sort of avoid the shorter prices.
Remember to download those free Formulator past performances for this race. Some really important breeding statistics available in Formulator, and you can download them on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. And when it's time to play the race, you can bet the race with DRF Bets and free Formulator past performances. Timeform US Pace Projector. Not sure how this is going to play out, Mike. Life is Hard, stretching out with speed, should be forwardly placed. But Constitutional Law, the number 4, is kind of a wild card. He's a runoff. Best Bet is also stretching out with some speed.
Yeah, there's plenty of speed towards the inside of this field. Even the 5, Dan, Great Heart, is off of a really long layoff here. But that horse, one start as a 2-year-old at Belmont back at the end of 2020 in a very fast-paced race.
The number 1 is Teo, 10-1 on the morning line for these connections. Steve Asmussen, Joel Rosario. Now, this is a 3-year-old taking on older horses here in early March. We know that Asmussen does very, very well with second-time starters. This horse made his debut going 2 turns at Sam Houston, kind of an even effort. The winner came back to run 3rd on the turf with a 61 buyer.
I didn't think this horse ran poorly at all in his debut. And this is not an easy spot. He's going to step up and face some older horses here in just his second career start. But listen, he didn't break that sharply in his career debut. He was very green early in that race, but he made a little bit of a run around the second turn. He got a little tired in the stretch. I thought all in all, a pretty useful debut. He's another horse, a lot of pedigree on the Dam side here. I'm expecting an improved effort here.
The number 2, Best Bet, blinkers off for the always capable Brad Coxbarn, and it'll be very interesting to see if this horse can take the requisite step forward in his second start off of a long layoff. In his first race back, he caught a wet track, he set the pace, he tired. He's bred, he's by Uncle Mo. The Dam mostly did her best running sprinting on the turf.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is another horse who could really improve here second off the layoff. I didn't necessarily care for his debut. Kelly Breen had him then. I just don't love the horse that won that race at Monmouth Park. A long layoff last time, showed a lot of speed. I guess he'll be forward in here. We'll see. If he's a big price, I won't argue, but I didn't like him that much.
Life is Hard, the number 3, was 11-1 for the career debut, and he ran very well, as seen in our DRF Formulator replay from February the 12th. Life is Hard on the lead here, turning into the stretch, and it takes an experienced runner the length of the lane to get Life is Hard. Best jet for Life is Hard. He earned an 80 buyer speed figure, very competitive, but now he's going to have to stretch out. He's by Munnings and is a half to King Kranz, who we know from New York is more of a sprinty type.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he ran fine in this race. He's the morning line favorite, which, doesn't necessarily thrill me as he stretches out. But he ran, well in here. I didn't necessarily feel like he had some kind of huge excuse not to win, but it was just his first start. Worth at least pointing out, Dan, that the number 7, Invariably, was also in that race. And I thought he sort of ran a sneaky good 4th, and I kind of would rather have him out of that start.
Does it concern you when a good debut trainer like James DeVito sends out a horse that's obviously well meant first time out? The horse runs his eyeballs out like Life is Hard does, and now he has to come back for start number 2. Do you think maybe a regression's in order?
Yeah, you got to at least consider that, don't you? I mean, you're right. DeVito really does tend to have these horses cranked up to go first time out. This horse was probably cranked. He showed a lot of speed, and he was right there at the end. We'll see if he can do as well in a second start.
Now, the number 4 Constitutional Law is one of those horses that Mike mentioned in the Open that just hasn't run to the pedigree as a full brother to Constitution, who won the Florida Derby and the Don Handicap. The Dam was Group 3 place sprinting on the turf. So this horse has plenty of pedigree. Last time out, he just ran off with his rider in the early portion of the race over a wet track. I'm willing to throw that race out. It's just that he hasn't finished off his other races with a lot of steam.
Yeah, he's just really hard to get behind based on what he's done so far. Obviously, he started out with Pletcher back in New York, and he missed a lot of time after only one start as a 2-year-old. So obviously, there's been some issues with this horse. So far, anyway, Dan hasn't improved in his 4 starts since coming back from the layoff. He's another horse. Listen, he's 8-1 on the line. If he's some kind of big price in here and you want to give him one more, be my guest. I wanted other horses.
The number 5 Great Heart sold for $400,000 as a yearling. This is a son of Empire Maker and a half-brother to Whiskey Echo, a graded stakes place sprinter. He only raced once in New York. Didn't love the field he was in against that day. It was an off-turf race, and then he's disappeared. So the connections have shown a lot of patience. He hasn't run in over a year. He's now with John Ortiz, and we have a formulator fact for the Ortiz barn concerning Lasix on dirt. 39%, 373 ROI. It's all about the layoff.
Yeah, it's just such a big layoff that it's hard to have a lot of confidence in him, Dan. I sort of felt like I could take a little bit more of a positive approach on him, though. I get it. The race in his career debut was rained off the turf there. He was not entered main track only that day. He was entered for grass, so I don't know if that means anything. But listen, at the end of the day, it was a pretty fast pace, and the race totally fell apart in the stretch. Closers came and ran 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. This horse got tired at the end after showing some speed. His pedigree is all distance. The Dam side of this pedigree is all route horses, some very good ones as well. I think there's still a chance this horse turns out to be pretty good.
The number 6, Victory March, stretches out off of a couple of sprints for trainer Brett Calhoun. And we're going to take a look at his most recent race, an improved performance over a wet track at Oaklawn in January. He came from off the pace in here to finish 3rd, and he was flattered somewhat when the runner-up came right back to graduate with an 81 Beyer speed figure. This horse has speed on top, but some stamina on the bottom of the pedigree. He's a half to a grade 2 stakes winning router.
Yeah, I agreed. I thought he ran okay in this race. He didn't break from the gate well at all, and was sort of far back early. And then he just kept improving his position throughout the race, and I thought he stayed on pretty gamely to the end. I mean, it never looked like he was going to win, but he certainly ran pretty well to just hold on for 3rd there. Another horse, Dan, I just feel like you could sort of project another forward move for him. And like you, I found enough distance pedigree to, not be that concerned with the stretch out.
We watched Life is Hard stretch replay here earlier, but you can go into your formulator past performances, click on the short comment, and watch the entire race. And that would be my advice when considering the number 7, Invariably. And what a pedigree here by Union Rags out of Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly and multiple Grade 1 stakes winner Sweet Cat O' Mine. Now, obviously, this horse has had his share of issues. He didn't debut till February of his 4-year-old campaign. But when you watch the replay, you'll see he completely missed the break, ran on at the end, and this is all distance pedigree.
Yeah, right. Just supposed to be a little better stretching out for this race. And he did enough running first time out to make you feel like he'll probably do a little bit better in this race. Just seemed like the kind of first time starter who really needed a run very slow from the gate, totally outrunning that race. But he was making up a lot of ground at the end of that race, and he galloped out really well also, if that means anything to you. Listen, I could give this horse another chance. I don't think I'd go as low as the morning line has him, but he just feels like the kind of horse who's probably going to run better in this spot.
Do we get too excited about pedigree, however, when a Dam has thrown several foals already that have failed to distinguish themselves at all? Sweet Cat O' Mine's been a bit of a disappointment as a broodmare.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think she had 6 prior foals to this one, and only 2 of them are minor winners. I mean, she really hasn't produced anything. That being said, Dan, I'm happy to just, judge Invariably off the one race that he ran, and he showed some potential in that spot.
Russian Alphabet, the number 8, has excuses for both lifetime starts. He made his debut in March of 2020 in a sprint at the fairgrounds. Not only did he catch 3 next out winners that day, but the winner of the race would come back to run second in an allowance with an 86 buyer. After that, they tried turf. The horse showed speed, stretching out, and tired. That race was on May 1st, 2021. He was listed as a vet scratch 3 times at Arlington Park over the next month and a half and has disappeared back for a new barn.
Yeah, he turns up for a new barn who just doesn't win very many races either. At the end of the day, this horse is just really, really difficult to make a serious case for, Dan, but it'll be a big price. And I guess he's at least a little bit of a wild card.
Back up to the maiden special ranks for the number 9, Cronus, who is second in the race we're going to show you right now, a $50,000 maiden claimer at Oaklawn going this distance on February the 12th. And I thought this horse might have made a little bit of an early move into the teeth of the pace. He made the lead, and he's going to get run down and finish second. But all in all, it was one of the better performances of Cronus's career, and he was claimed by a guy that wins races.
Yeah, I liked all those things about him too. I sort of felt like he probably ran the best race here, whether that means anything or not, in a maiden claiming start. I guess we'll see as time goes on. I feel like he was probably unlucky not to break his maiden last time, Dan, as you said. They just rated him back to last early. He made a really long, wide move in that race, and I thought he kept on pretty well to the end. I thought he ran well there. His prior start on a fast track at Oaklawn, which was his career debut last March, he actually ran really well in that race too, Dan. He had a real trip in that race. I feel like this horse is probably better than his 0 for 6 record makes him look. He's interesting stepping back up.
Centurion completes this field. It's a tough outside post position going a mile at Oaklawn, but he exits a key race. First start off the claim. That race was over a wet track, and Centurion was beaten by a hot horse that came right back to win a one other than with an 84 buyer speed figure. Now, maybe he's running out of chances after 12 lifetime starts, but this horse, when he was trained by Robertino Diodoro and Jimmy Jerkins, was taking money and running competitive races. He's going to be a price for a low profile but capable barn.
Yeah, I guess if he's a good price in this race, that's a fair point that you make there, because he's obviously run a few races that are going to make him competitive in here. But boy, he's been through some good barns and just hasn't turned out to be that good. Now he's got a break from the far outside post. I don't know. He can definitely win. He's another horse. I just wanted other horses in this spot.
Really interesting race. We're going to take a look at our top selections for our Friday race of the day. Mike, you like Kronos back up into the maiden special ranks? There is a chance that this pace heats up, and I think with a more patient ride, he can kick.
Yeah, he does seem like one of those horses who's probably going to need a little pace in this race, but he might get it. I thought he ran really well in his most recent start. I'm happy to give him one more chance stepping back up.
I want to use him a little bit. I want to use the 10 Centurion. Pace is going to make the race for the 3 Life is Hard. He might be distance compromised a bit, but he could be helped by the short stretch. If he could somehow get to the lead or relax in second and runs anything close to his debut race, he'll be tough. I don't want to take much less than his morning line. 9157 for Mike, 31096 for me. It's the Friday DRF race of the day. Best of luck.